Picture a world where the simplicity of owning a pet or enjoying a scoop of ice cream transforms into a moral dilemma. While most agree that animals deserve humane treatment, some advocate for animal liberation, such as having a pet or having a wool sweater are deemed wrong, comparable to slavery or child abuse. This way of thinking is what sets the stage for Peta's unique approach. Peta is one of the largest global animal rights organizations and has a track record of many important campaigns to help animals. But within their activism lies a dark story, a story of endless euthanization, manipulation, and even supporting violent criminals. While there are animal activists who support Peta, the majority criticize and strongly disagree with Peta's methods. This leads us to one of the biggest controversies surrounding them. This selfish desire to possess animals and receive love from them causes immeasurable suffering, which results them from manipulating their breeding, selling them or giving them away casually, and depriving them of the opportunity to engage in their natural behavior. Their website reads, "While animal rights discussions can be complex, there are instances where Peta employees have taken things to a disturbing level. On at least 2 occasions, Peta workers have found themselves on the wrong side of the law, arrested for stealing other people's pets. What makes things even more puzzling is that even though Peta said they don't support or approve of this action, the charges against the workers were dismissed due to unclear content. However, they have never provided an explanation for the incident that shocked the world. In October 2014, Peta employees took a little girl's dog from the front porch, tragically leading to its euthanization just 2 hours later. After months of silence, they claimed that the animal was confused for another one, but no satisfying explanation was offered. Peta faced a $500 fine, but the story didn't end there. The owners of Maya, the dog in the image, took legal action against the group. They showed that over several weeks, Peta employees had been visiting the trailer park where the owners lived, talking to them about neutering and spaying animals. But one day, they tried to lure Maya out of her home. When that failed, they simply stole and killed her within hours. Although Virginia law dictates that private shelters like Peta must notify municipal animal control and keep animals safe for at least 5 days, Peta did neither. As the trial unfolded with Maya's family, Peta issued a motion claiming that Maya's family had no value. During the proceedings, Peta's administrators were required to submit records and to testify under oath about their internal operations, specifically their controversial practice of animal extermination. The case concluded with Peta settling and compensating Maya's family with a payment of $49,000. Another notable case took place in 2005 in North Carolina, leaving the local police stunned. The discovery of 80 dogs and cats, even innocent puppies and kittens, in a trash container sent shockwaves through the community. And while everyone was left in disbelief, Ingrid Newkirk, Peta's president, seemed more affected by the media impact than the practices of her organization. Peta wholeheartedly supported its workers, claiming that their only mistake was the disposal of the carcasses. Knowing this, it won't come as a surprise for you to learn that, according to the records, Peta kills almost 85% of the animals they, in quotes, save, even the ones that are healthy. But it's not just pets that are the center of lawsuits. Peta faced legal action, a violation of the law prohibiting companies from using automated systems to send messages without prior written consent. The person who filed the complaint said the organization sent them 2 unwanted text messages promoting Beyond Meat being sold at a restaurant. In addition to this, PetSmart also took legal action, accusing a former employee of allegedly filming internal operations, allegedly acting on orders from and being paid by Peta. However, these legal battles only scratch the surface of Peta's alleged deception and manipulation. Diving into Peta's history reveals a surprising pattern. a willingness to financially support those involved in violent acts. Picture this. A $1,500 donation from Peta to the Earth Liberation Front, a group labeled domestic terrorism by the FBI. And if that doesn't grab your attention, how about $70,200 cashed out to defend a serial arsonist who torched a research laboratory? Moreover, Peta's vegetarian campaign coordinator, Bruce Frederick, openly endorsed such actions. Reportedly, he told an animal rights convention that blowing stuff up and smashing windows is a great way to bring about animal liberation, and praising those who are willing to do it. Certainly, they have every right to spend their money as they see fit, but do they know where their money goes? There is reason to doubt that much of this money is legitimately helping animals. Their yearly report is riddled with media stats and barely mentions programs focused on animals. And if we fast forward to more recent events, the story takes an even darker turn. Imagine being a researcher dedicated to your work, and suddenly you find yourself facing harassment. Unfortunately, this became a reality for Christine Lan, an ornithologist from Yale University. Christine faced threats after publishing scientific papers on endangered birds. Peta's member took it to another level, sending her death threats and accusing her of torturing and killing birds. Shockingly, they went as far as discovering where she lives, staging a protest right outside her house. Peta's supporters are not strangers to physical violence neither. In 2018, a 39-year-old woman named Nasim Adem went on a shooting spree at YouTube's headquarters in San Diego. She injured 3 people before taking her own life. But why? Well, Agnam maintained several YouTube channels and a personal website where she published videos covering mostly topics about veganism and animal cruelty. She frequently ranted against YouTube, alleging discrimination and claiming the company demonetized her and filtered her videos to limit her views.
My new videos hardly get views, and my old videos that used to get many views stopped getting views.
Now that you're aware of Peta's alarming tendency for sending death threats and even resorting to physical actions, it's time to peel back another layer of their controversial tactics. It probably won't come as a shock for you to discover that Peta frequently utilizes unsettling imagery that raises ethical questions. Without hesitation, Peta has integrated disturbing events such as a murder, cannibalism, and even the Holocaust into their ads, aiming to influence people through religious connections, suggesting that Jesus was a vegetarian. This, of course, has stirred significant outrage, particularly within the Jewish community. So much so that the European Court of Human Rights had to step in and put a firm ban on Peta's use of the Holocaust imagery in their advertisements. But that's not where it ends. Peta's habit of creating and sharing misleading campaigns has left a sore taste for many animal lovers, even vegans. Take for instance their recent anti-shear campaign featuring a bloody yet entirely fake lamb mannequin. It's an attempt to send a gruesome message, but here's the catch: the reality is far from what they depict. Peta says that cutting sheep's wool hurts them and causes death. However, if you ask someone who takes care of sheep, they'll explain that cutting their wool the right way has been happening for a very long time and actually helps the sheep stay healthy. If the wool isn't cut, the sheep could get really sick. While there are legitimate concerns about mishandling sheep, Peta's campaign is more about shock and less about truth. This way of doing things happens a lot. It's like a repeating pattern. Peta even proudly features kids in their dramatic ads, openly admitting to targeting them directly without asking their parents' approval.
You said it was your job to protect me. You were always telling me what not to do. Don't do this and don't do that because you could get hurt. But you never said don't eat meat or dairy.
However, Peta goes beyond merely mentioning kids in their ads. They actively engage in indoctrination efforts. A prime example is their request to Sesame Street to introduce a vegan Muppet, introducing kids to abstain from eating meat. Adding to their controversial methods, in 2003, across more than 15 states, the group depicted a graphic comic titled "Your Mummy Kills Animals" to children, accompanying women wearing fur. But that's not all. Here's also a comic specifically aimed at dads who fish, called "Your Daddy Kills Animals." Your perception of Peta's methods might shift once you discover they extend beyond comics when it comes to influencing children. Peta's Kids proudly owns a YouTube channel with over 16,000 subscribers. Here you'll find videos featuring celebrities encouraging children to speak up for animal rights or adopt a vegan lifestyle. Playlists cover topics like captivity kills, adopt don't buy, and cool animal facts. These children are encouraged to plan and carry out 12 different activism goals to earn a Peta Kids membership card. Its reach extends to cartoons, trading cards, and even to video games. With over 33 video games in their collection, you might expect a diverse gaming experience. However, my attempts at playing a few were met with disappointment. Most are poor parodies of popular games like Mario, Cooking Mama, and Pokemon. With titles like "Gotta Free Them All," the rest are even worse. Not only looking bad, but playing even worse. Peta has gone so far as to establish a Minecraft server where harming animals is strictly prohibited. However, the reality differs, with most players acting as trolls, which I'm sure comes as no surprise, targeting even younger children, including those in pre-kindergarten. Peta Little Kids introduces subtle messaging through various activities, from coloring books to songs. The content aims to instill a Peta perspective. For example, one arts and crafts activity involves creating a Christmas ornament of a pig with the caption, "I'm not meat." Last time I checked, it definitely was. Moreover, Peta Little Kids creatively remixes nursery rhymes, changing the lyrics to align with pro-Peta messages. One example transformed "Three Blind Mice See How They Run" into "They all ran after the farmer's wife. They told her thank you for saving their life." And "Pop Goes the Bubble" replaces "Pop Goes the Weasel." Not all of their campaigns are gruesome though, as some are often regarded as downright silly, such as replacing age, old sayings with more harmless messages. And if you thought Peta's influence on children ended here, well, think again. Peta Teach Kind stands as another pathway extending the organization's reach into the world of education. Unlike the previous three groups, Teach Kind goes after children, though a third party teaches. The program provides educators with a curriculum to teach children about Peta's principles, no matter which grade they teach. Many of the lessons involved watching their documentaries, such as Seaspiracy, to turn children against animal agriculture. As if there wasn't any doubt to how biased these lessons are, Peta introduces debate and persuasive argument modules that exclusively promotes the pro-animal rights perspective. Beyond this, the curriculum involves controversial topics, drawing connections between African American slaves and the livestock animals. In one instance, students were urged to compare the progression of the civil rights movement in the US to the current animal rights movement. This makes us worry about whether the lessons are fair and suitable for learning. Parents should pay attention to these details, as Peta seems to be influencing how future generations think, with a specific way of seeing things. Each year, Peta recognizes Teachers of the Year for continuing to teach young people how to respect and be kind to all sentient beings, no matter their species. One teacher had his students compete in a compassion challenge, which ranked students on how much of a vegan diet they would vow to maintain, starting with recognizing meatless Mondays and ending with full veganism. Peta officials have claimed feeding children nutritious meat is child abuse, and they've also stated that they are at war and will do whatever it takes to win. Peta's indoctrination aimed at children is not only detrimental to their thinking process, but can also be very harmful to them physically. A few years ago, a panel of experts from health organizations declared that children should avoid plant-based milks. They decided that unless the child is lactose intolerant, plant-based milk should be avoided, given its lack of nutrients, especially vitamin D and calcium. According to Dr. Eric Berg, these specific vitamins and minerals are essential for building the brain and a strong bone structure.
What can happen, it can create very severe deficiencies, okay? B12, vitamin B2, vitamin D, vitamin A, but especially DHA and EPA. These two fats are essential in the development of a growing infant, especially for the brain, for the endocrine system, and these are healthy fats. They're omega-3 fatty acids. You're retarding the growth of the child, you're affecting the cognitive function, the vision can be affected, the retina of the eye, and even the entire brain needs large amounts of DHA.
This is not just about milk. The Royal Academy of Medicine of Belgium labeled pushing children to adopt a vegan lifestyle as unethical. They discovered that veganism can cause health problems in growing children unless closely monitored and tested. Furthermore, one researcher pointed out how feeding your children a vegan diet is regarded as child abuse and is actually punishable by the law. George Casimir, the pediatrician who led the commission that issued the report, stated, "When we are children, the body manufactures brain cells. This implies higher requirements for protein and essential fatty acids. The body does not produce them. It must be brought in via animal products. However, there's a limit to how much brainwashing a person can take, even for a Peta employee." Laura Lee Cascada, an ex-employee of Peta, took to Medium, a news website, to express her grievances with the hypocritical pet killing organization. She began by explaining how Peta begins its indoctrination process right from the beginning. Laura continued to describe how employees are carefully groomed through training that includes claims that anesthesia is in the best interest of the animals. Peta instills a savior complex in its employees, believing they are fixing the mess created by humans. One employee revealed to Laura that the staff believes their ability to euthanize animals makes them badass, while opposing anesthesia is considered weak. And if you refuse to do this and decide to go against Peta, Laura claimed they will find you. This organization shows little concern for its employees' health. In an emotional testimony, Laura described working 50 to 60 hours a week to prove her dedication. Working there had desensitized her and wrapped her view of animal death. When she expressed her stress to co-workers, they regarded her as if she was crazy. The stress became so overwhelming that she had a panic attack in HR, and that's when she finally decided it's time to leave. While Laura exposed some alarming practices within Peta, the fight against this cultish organization remains unsolved. Peta has repeatedly embraced ethically questionable tactics, sacrificing anything and anyone to achieve their goals. Criticism from other animal rights groups suggests that Peta's extreme positions are undermining its own mission. Despite raising awareness for animal rights, Peta's closet is filled with skeletons, and they don't seem eager to hide them. From euthanizing healthy pets to supporting eco-terrorism and promoting misleading campaigns, Peta is surrounded by systematic controversy. It's critical to spread awareness and condemn Peta's indoctrination and euthanization of animals. The need to call out this organization is not just necessary, it's long overdue. As we navigate the complex landscape of animal rights, we should support actual ethical organizations and engage in conversations to bring about positive change.